welcome to the Authors Unite show. Got Melitsa Waage. This is her book right here.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we got like 10 camera angles in here. So welcome to the show, Melitsa.
Thank you.
Yes, we're down in Miami. I'd call you the queen of Miami. That's what I'll call you.
Thank you.
So let's start with this. So we met 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
We met outside of News Cafe, or not News Cafe, it was somewhere in Edgewater in Miami.
Oh, yes. News Cafe, it was News
was
Cafe.
It? Okay.
Yeah.
And Jay Duran connected us. You had a book then, we talked, we hit it off, and then I spoke at your event, Epic Talks. And then, like, a year and a half later, this book comes out. Crazy.
Yes.
So, let's start with Epic Talks. How did you come up with Epic Talks?
Well, Epic Talks was born out of a need of something enriching. You know what I mean? I was going to networking events, leaving completely unfulfilled and, not meeting people that I was really interested in connecting with, not meeting people that had the same, mindset, if you will, like wanting to grow, wanting to become, better than they are already, right? So I remember thinking to myself, I think I'm going to move to LA. Because there's a lot of like personal development coaches out there and the industry is really big. But then I thought to myself, I was like, if I'm feeling this way, there's got to be hundreds of people, thousands of people that are feeling the same way. So why not I just start my own event and see who comes, right?
Yeah.
So I thought of this, and then I reached out to a girlfriend of mine, Alicia Belchenko, and I told her, I said, hey, would you want to speak at if I throw an event? She's a professor at the University of Miami, a law professor, so she's used to speaking on stages.
Yeah.
So I thought to myself that having her, it would be easier for me. So she said, sure. So I made this little flyer with her picture, my picture, and at the time I called it Epic Life Masters, and now it's Epic Talks. But I just printed out 100 flyers. I passed them out all over Brickell,
That's
downtown.
sick. I was going to say, were you like knocking on doors and stuff?
I was like, I went all
That's
over
awesome.
Brickell and then the area that I live as well. And I had the event in 3 days. And in 3 days, 15 people showed up from my flyers. And 8 out of those people were my friends. So in reality, 7 people showed up. But I felt in my zone of genius when I was there and speaking on stage and at people, and I had exercises for people and mental exercises, and they were like writing them down, and I saw how they were talking. The connection was amazing. I had some cheese and crackers and some wine, and everybody was kind of like networking in the beginning and at the end of the event as well. And I said, I'm onto something here, and then I partnered up with a couple of influencers here, Jason Stone, Millionaire Mentor being one of them, Andres Ospina, and Luis Escobar as well. And, we did our first event after I reached out to them, and, the first event after my first one was 120 people.
Yeah.
So, and then Epic Talks was never the same. It's become the number one networking event in Miami.
And that last one, actually, me and Colin, my brother, were talking about this. At your last Epic Talks, you did that like exercise where you had people. I can't remember all the questions.
Life,
like,
mission, purpose. To figure
it was
out.
Awesome. It gave you so much clarity. Can you walk through it a little bit?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Okay. Yeah. Because it's a lot to remember.
So basically, I take you through 5 questions. A lot of my clients, what they tell me is, I work with a lot of CEOs and entrepreneurs who are looking to have it all in life. High performers. So what they tell me is that they have a lot of money and they have an amazing job and an amazing title, but they're not feeling fulfilled in their lives. They're feeling empty. They're feeling a little lost, and they feel they want more, but they don't know what it is. And when I sit with them, within 10 minutes, they finish that exercise like you guys did, and they have like a breakthrough. Oh my God, this is always what I wanted to do. So with the first question, I asked them, who are you? You know what I mean? Are you a leader? Are you a communicator? Are you somebody who likes to socialize? So I give them like 30 different options. Then the second one, what are your talents? Then the third one, what roles do you play in life, right? And then the fourth one, I can't remember exactly what the fourth one is, but the fifth one is, who do you want to serve? Like children, moms, dads, entrepreneurs, in the field of what? So once you answer all this, I only have you pick like 2 or 3 of the entire
of each like describing
of the entire list that I give you. And then towards the end, you basically create a full sentence of who you are and what your calling is.
Mm-hmm.
But I guide you through that. And once they finalize it, they're like, oh my God, you know what I mean? So it's actually, when I work with my clients, I do this exercise in the beginning of the session. I have a 12-week program. So the first session I have with them, I do this exercise. The last session I have with them, I do the exercise. It's completely different. They're like a new person. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, it was so weird that night when I filled it out, because it was like I was like doing things that it wasn't like in the forefront of my mind, but after I filled that sheet out, I was like, oh, I'm kind of living this out, but I didn't realize I was. But once you realize something, then it becomes more potent in your life.
Yeah.
So it really helped me to like actually zero in on what I'm already doing more. So I appreciate you having it that night. It was sick.
I love that. Thank you.
So let's actually go back even further. So what were you doing? Yeah, let's do it like this. So what were you doing before Epic Talks, like career-wise? And then like before that, what led you to that career that then led you to Epic Talks? I want to understand like how you got to this place.
Okay. Well, before Epic Talks, I spent the last 7 years in personal development.
Okay.
I pretty much made personal development my religion. I've been in medical sales for the last 10 years, so I work with orthopedics. And, I was that salesperson knocking on doors and trying to get their business, so that created a really nice lifestyle for me and allowed me to, start multiple businesses.
Yeah.
So, however, 7 years ago, I found myself in a really dark place in my life, and I had, I was going through a divorce, and it was just a moment in my life where I was betrayed, and I just never saw that happening. So imagine being with somebody for a decade, and who you thought was your best friend betrays you. And then you're kind of like, you leave that situation, and I found myself like, oh my God, what am I going to do now? You know what I mean? And I just didn't know. So I spent like a year and a half being completely self-destructive. Not like horrible, but it wasn't leading me into a really good situation, right? I was partying all the time. I was drinking all the time. I was hanging around with the wrong people. And I remember waking up one morning, and I looked at myself and I go, you've come so far in your life, you know what I mean? Coming from my background.
And wait, what's your background?
I was a foster child.
Okay.
My biological parents were heroin addicts. And I was put into the foster care system at the age of 3. Okay. And, I didn't have like the cookie cutter childhood. Yeah. It was difficult at times, And I've been on my own since I was 15, so that was that, and just realizing how far I've come. I even got kicked out of high school and told by my principal that I would never amount to anything. You know what I mean? And here I am. I started my first business at the age of 24, so. So fuck you.
Hope you're watching this live.
So
what'd you get kicked out for though?
I was missing
story.
too much.
Okay.
Yeah, I was missing too many days. Like I was missing. The thing is that I have a funny story. I'll get back to the question, but the thing is. I used to take a bus, right? And then I would fall asleep because I had to wake up at like 5 a.m. to take the bus. And then I would fall asleep and I would end up in Disney World because I lived in Orlando. So instead of going back to school, I learned the back ways to get into Disney for free.
That's perfect.
So I just started skipping school, and I would just end up literally in Disney almost every day. And it was just like, and I was on my own too, so it was kind of like I didn't have that structure, that parents making sure that I got home on time, and I was just kind of living my life. So I got kicked out of high school for missing so much. So I had to finish high school on my own. I got into a special program where you go to this class and you kind of finish it. Yeah. So that was that.
Like
but anyways, back
like a
to
GED type thing? Is that is it GED or something?
No, it's not. It's not.
Okay,
no,
gotcha.
I finished. I took all the classes. It wasn't a GED.
Gotcha.
I took all the classes, but in like a different setting. It wasn't the normal school. So I had a graduation and all that stuff.
Yeah. I think we can all relate. I mean, if I had to choose between school or Disney World every day, if I actually had that option, I mean, I think I would have chose Disney World. So,
oh my God.
I mean, makes sense to me.
So it was kind of in my own little world, you know what I mean? Just realizing that I remember waking up and looking at myself in the mirror, and I told myself, are you going to allow your circumstances to destroy you or to make you? Are you happy with who you've become because of that betrayal? And I was like, no. So what are you going to do to change this? I remember I was talking to myself, like talking in the mirror, not thinking it, talking to myself.
Yeah.
And I remember sitting on Facebook on my computer, and I see this sponsorship, this ad. It said, reignite your life, your finances, and your future. Free ticket, 3-day event. I'm like, this must be a cult.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? This get free to change my life.
Yeah.
You know? So I contacted my girlfriend, Alexi Panos. You know Alexi?
Yeah.
Okay, so she and we know each other.
Oh wait, I didn't know you knew her.
Yeah.
That's so weird. I met her
she's
in Boulder like 8 years ago.
Oh my God! So she and I used to like model together back in the day.
Sick.
We even tried out together for the Amazing Race.
That's awesome.
And the only reason why we didn't get picked was because she had a contract with a TV network. You know, she's a host.
Yeah.
And we couldn't get on the show because of that. But
wow.
yeah.
That's weird. Didn't know
right?
that. Yeah.
So I contacted her and I said, Alexi, have you ever heard of this company, Peak Potentials? She's like, no. She's like, however, if you get one good thing out of this, it's a win-win situation. Mm-hmm. So I took that advice. I booked my ticket. I booked my hotel from Vegas and went to LA. Those 3 days changed my life. I ended up investing $6,500 that weekend, of course.
Yeah.
Thankfully, they had a payment plan because I couldn't afford $6,500. It was like $250 a month or something.
Yeah.
And then she literally, her advice just helped me change my life. And those 2 years I spent literally going to events every 2 to 3 months.
Yeah.
You know, Warrior Camp, Reignite Your Life, Business Mastery. And I was just surrounding myself with people who were like looking to elevate their life and take it to the next level.
Yeah.
And once I saw the transformation in my life, and once I saw the people I started surrounding myself with, the people that will elevate you, that are going to be there for you, that are looking to create, looking to inspire, that to me just, I was like, I got to pay it forward.
Yeah.
I got to pay this forward. So when I got to Miami, I started a little movement called Backpack Attack. It's like a charity for little kids where I give backpacks to children in need, and I fill up the backpacks with school supplies. And then from there, then I started Epic Talks, then I started Detoxify Your Mind. So I got into personal development, and I freaking love it.
Yeah, I think, so a huge lesson there is I think a lot of people think like conferences and those like the Tony Robbins and stuff, like it's all like culty and stuff, like kind of like, but like it's kind of like a frequency, like when you start like every few months, if you go to events like this, you stay kind of at that level, because I'm sure you can relate. Like if you're at a week-long, I think Business Mastery is like a week-long event or something. Yeah. Like the frequency of that week is so high, and it kind of like carries on into your life for a few months, and then it probably dips a little. So if you stay on that every few months, you will literally stay up there. And it's not always like direct. You can't always like point back and be like, this is exactly what I got from it. But it's more like a mindset and like a feeling and environment that you build. So either way, so you went down that complete path. Do you still go to a lot of events?
Absolutely. And it helps that I am the founder of Epic Talks.
Well, at least once a month you go to one.
At least once a month I get to, network with, amazing individuals. And I think it's important to consistently stay in this type of community of growth, because it's like working out. It's like exercising the mind. It's not only that, but at these events you meet people that are genuinely there to better their lives. You know what I mean? So you're not really surrounding yourself with people who are going to try to drag you down, but people who are going to bring you and lift you up. And absolutely, I stay connected with people in that environment. I listen, I read books, I listen to certain podcasts, and I just, I surround myself with people like you guys in here, you know what I mean? So
absolutely. So let's go back to the point. So you said you were married for 10 years.
Yeah.
So that's right. So like, if you're willing to go, because I'm just curious how you got out of it too. So like 10 years, what happened? Like why did it end?
Oh, okay. So, I met this person at a young age. I was 21. I got married at 24, and I started my first business as partners, and
Yeah.
you
You
know,
guys were business partners. Too.
yeah, I started.
Oh wow. Okay. So
Well,
you guys were
I started a real estate company and visual investments, and that's when the real estate market was popping. Remember when all those shows started, like flipping houses?
Yeah.
So I was like, oh my God, I could do this. You know what I mean? So me and my ex-husband, we were just like, oh my God, we're going to be filthy rich. You know what I mean? Let's just start buying houses. So fortunately, I found an angel investor, somebody who really believed in us, and he provided the cash. We would flip the houses and we'd split the profit, right?
Yeah.
But then we got hit by, remember when the market crashed in 2008? It literally happened in like 3 months, like boom. You know what I mean? Right, Ronnie? Like, he's in the real estate business. That shit just took everybody by storm. Like, and I remember thinking to myself, we're working on this last project. I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to be a millionaire. The market collapsed, and literally, like, we lost everything we had made. Like, and I'm like 24 years old, like feeling, what are we going to do now? And then I started thinking of other ideas, and I, at the time, my ex-husband had long hair down to here, and we just started talking. If we're gonna do serious business, you can't be with this long hair. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I remember thinking, we're on the computer, and he's looking.
You can't be like a stallion or something.
No, literally, he had like a ponytail with like, he would rope it, and it was like a turkey Indian hair, and
That's awesome.
So then I remember he was on the computer. I'll never forget this moment. I was sitting on the couch back here. He was on the computer. I'm looking, and we're just looking for a hair salon for him to cut his hair. We couldn't find anything with reviews, nothing. And I got a light bulb in my head, and I'm like, oh my goodness. This is when MySpace was popular. Remember MySpace? I said, we can start a platform for hairstylists and hair professionals and hair salons where they can showcase their reviews, their hairs, like before and after and all this stuff. And he's like, oh my God, yeah. So then we started our first, internet business doing that, and we found a web developer. And at the time, there was so many guys out there that was just scamming you and taking your money. I ended up investing $250,000 into that business within 4 years.
Wow.
Yeah, and it really. We got screwed over with that partnership, but anyways, so we moved on, and then started another one, and then we had an angel investor that was coming in with $1 million, and he ended up basically really screwing us over as well, and so that kind of put some pressure on the relationship, and my ex decided he wanted to cheat, and I just don't. I don't stick with that, you know what I mean? I'm loyal till death, you know what I mean? So I just felt that was the end of that journey, and I'm actually thankful for that. I'm not a victim of that situation. I'm more of a victor, and I wouldn't be who I am today if that wouldn't have happened.
For sure.
And yeah, that's I'm here now.
That's what I was going to say. I mean, all those failures in business, right? I almost think people should seek those out immediately, because you got through all of it at, in your 20s.
Yeah.
Pretty young age. And it seems to me like 30s with the sales position that you have, Epic Talks, and the other things you're doing. In your 30s, there's a lot more success stories.
Absolutely.
But you wouldn't have them if you didn't go through
that
the
20s,
it's
learn. Fail at this. Fail at this. Fail. Right?
Yeah.
Torture. And then,
that was a roller coaster. Millions, nothing.
Exactly.
Hair business, nothing. No. So, gotcha. Long hair? No hair. Okay. So, and I think you told me recently I don't think you're moving there, but you're going to LA soon for something.
Yeah, I want to do an Epic Talks in LA.
Oh, okay. So where are you is that where you're trying to expand Epic Talks to other cities?
Yes, I want to start doing pop-ups, Epic Talks pop-ups.
Okay, gotcha.
So, not that I'll have them there indefinitely, but that's the plan.
Okay, gotcha.
I want to grow Epic Talks where I have different speakers or leaders in the community that can have them the last Wednesday of the month. You know what I mean? And people can just tune in and watch us live stream, right, from all over the world. So Germany is asking me to go over there. LA is asking me to go. New York City, San Diego, Las Vegas. There's a lot of places that want me to take Epic Talks, and the whole concept and the way we have the events, which is pretty amazing. So I'm
yeah,
excited.
that's incredible. Yeah, let me know in San Diego. That's where I lived for 5 years, so I know a lot of people there. So once you get there, just ping it to that whole crew.
Okay.
But so what's the I guess, arching vision of Epic Talks? Is it kind of that, like having it, I guess, nationally, and then you said Germany, so globally?
Yeah, I would love to definitely go global with Epic Talks. What I noticed, what Epic Talks has created is a community of trust, of hope, of companionship, of leadership, of entrepreneurship, mindset, business, lifestyle, like everything.
Yeah.
And it's a representation of who I am, actually. You know, when you come to Epic Talks, you feel loved, you feel like you're having fun. You know, it's fun but serious at the same time. And not only that, but you meet amazing people. And yesterday I got a message from one of the attendees, and he goes, "Hey, I just wanted to tell you how much Epic Talks has changed my life. The people that I'm meeting there, and the business that I was able to start because of it, and that's what you come to Epic Talks to do, is to learn, to evolve, to meet other people, and have the most amazing networking event in the world."
Yeah, and I think Drew, I'm friends with him too, but more your friend Drew, what he said at your last event, that's how I kind of see Epic Talks, where like, can't remember exactly, but he lost some big stuff in a tech company, and then now he's doing mortgages again. But it was you that like let him, like, I think, stay on your couch for a little bit, and then did he meet his girlfriend at Epic?
Yes.
Dude, like his whole life basically right now is like, not, he did it, but I'm just saying, like, Epic Talks is the foundation of it. So stories like that, and I'll even say for me, right, like when we met, I had been in Miami for like two or so years, and what I kept finding is it's very touristy area, so I was having trouble like finding local people to like stay connected to, maybe because I was hanging out at Mango's all the time. So
I love Mango's. We gotta go together. Let's go.
It's gotta reopen. It's closed right now. But like I was trying to find that community, and then Epic Talks was really that beginning, and so many people around here, so you really are, I feel like, I don't know what you call it, like you are the center of the Miami universe. That's
wow, thank you.
Yeah, and I'm not just I'm not blowing smoke up your ass. That's not like, it's because me, Drew, like there's just so many stories like that. So
yeah, thank you for that.
So let's dive into the book a little bit. Detoxify Your Mind. How did you break this up? Like what's the book about?
So basically, I truly believe that people preach about what they struggle with in life, and I feel that that's a way of healing. Right? That's how you heal yourself, is by helping others who struggle with the same thing you do, right? So for me, my mindset after I went through my divorce was not in a good place, and what I teach in this book is how I got myself out of that. How I got myself out of that mindset, how I got myself to thinking I am good enough, I am worthy of love, I am worthy of success, I am worthy of creating the life of my dreams, and it's basically a workbook, and it's a process, it's a step by step process that you have to go through. You have to do the work. A lot of people want change, massive change in their life, but they're not willing to take massive action. Right?
Yeah.
You want massive change, you need to take massive action, right? Unless you want to stay stuck in mediocrity. And I was tired. I was tired of feeling like I wasn't living my best, like I wasn't walking in my purpose, So through this book, I basically take you through different exercises and help you detoxify your mind so you can step into the best version of yourself.
So that first event that you went to, so after you got divorced, it was like a year and a half of kind of self-sabotage. And then what was it about that first event that really changed? Because that seems to be like the catalyst.
Yes. So you know how you just mentioned, you said, I just kept meeting like touristy people, but Epic Talks kind of is like a community, right? That's what happened. I was going to this event, meeting people that were looking for purpose, meeting people that wanted to really connect. You know what I mean? So that's what that event did. And then I saw kind of like the light at the end of the tunnel, like, oh my God, this is a community that can help better my life. I wasn't finding that at the nightclubs that I was going to, at the bars I was going to, at the happy hours I was going to. No, I was finding what I needed to better my life at these events.
And would you say it was like so it was obviously the content was there and the content was good, but would you say it was more like the people and the relationships?
It was.
Or
I would say more the content. I was very involved
okay.
in the content. Like, the people were amazing. Don't get me wrong. But you're spending 10 hours getting coached with a coach on stage.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's like exercises that you do and collaborate with the people there. But it was just the exercises, them showing you, dude, you're in the gutter right now. Let me show you what you could do to get yourself out of the gutter, to get your mind out of that place. Let me tell you what you can do to change your finances, to change your future, to evolve, to step into the better version of yourself. And I wanted that so bad. And that's the thing, that when you want something really bad, you make that shit happen. And since I wanted it so bad, I wanted to change my life. I was a student. You know, a lot of people, I want this, I want that. They don't want it bad enough. That's why they're stuck where they're stuck at.
Yeah, I agree. So I want to go through routines, because I feel like you're just always at this very high frequency. So when you're like, what's your typical, let's start with weekdays, like Monday through Friday morning routine, and like, and not just morning, but what are you doing to stay so active? And just because you're doing a show in Miami, you're flying out to LA, like there's so much stuff going on. You have Epic Talks in 3 days. I think it's 3 days. So yeah, what's that look like? Like nutrition wise, exercise. I know in some you talk about sex life, and I don't. Is it this book or
no?
That
book is coming.
Okay, that book's coming. Okay, so like, oh boy, now we're having fun. Okay. Tequila. No.
Right.
So yeah, I guess the whole lifestyle is what I'm asking. Like, how do you keep that energy like that?
For me, gratitude plays a big part. Gratitude. A really good week for me looks like this. I wake up at 5:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
Before I get out of bed, I do a 10-minute meditation.
Gotcha.
Right. I do a 10-minute meditation. The moment I get out of my bed, I turn around and I make my bed. So then, you know, and then I write 10 things I'm grateful for and why. And I could repeat myself every single day, but I still write them down. I'm thankful for my house. I'm thankful for the food I'm going to eat today. I'm thankful for my car. I'm thankful for my friends. Like, you know what I mean? And then in the first 15, 20 minutes of me waking up, I've created a routine of success, right? Because those little things, that's success. To wake up in the morning, that's success. To write down your gratitudes, that's success. To turn around and make your bed, that's success. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So then, as I'm making my breakfast, I turn on Tony Robbins or Bob Proctor, or, you know, a motivational story or video or something inspiring, right? Then I make my breakfast. I go to the gym. I work out. I have a trainer twice a week. And he kicks my butt, you know? And I just surround myself with amazing people. Anything negative in my life, or somebody throws a negative thing at me, I reject it, because I don't have time for that. You know what I mean? And I'm always aware, okay, how am I feeling? Who am I with? Who, you know, how are people making me feel? You get what I'm saying? And I just really, like, I'm just living my best fucking life. I've never been happier, you know? And just walking and knowing that I'm living and walking in my purpose is fulfillment. So.
And what nightly routine? Do you have one?
Nightly routine. I prepare for my following day. That way I can get some rest. You know what I mean? I'm not stressed out.
Or your mind will be
up.
running? Yeah, I'm the same.
My mind does run a lot. But to calm myself, I'll do a meditation, and then I'll write, okay, this is what needs to happen the following day. You know what I mean? These are the top 3 important things to do.
Gotcha.
You know? So, and holding yourself accountable, and I'm not perfect. Does that happen every day? Do I have every single day like that? No. Yeah. I'll be honest with you. You know? There's some days I don't feel like getting out of bed. You know what I mean? Like, we had a crazy photo shoot yesterday, and we're like, yeah, we're going to wake up early. We're going to go to gym, and then the podcast, right? My alarm went off. We had a crazy day, like, exhausted. My alarm went off. I didn't hear her say anything. She was sleeping downstairs. I didn't hear her say anything. So I just turned it off and went back to bed. And wake up at 8, and she's like, hey! I'm like, what up? So much for waking up early. But, you know, it's not some days are harder than others, you know, but I try to stay consistent with what I mentioned.
And you said, and I actually haven't heard this before, with, I know a lot of people do gratitude in the morning, but you said you write down why you're grateful for it. So what does that, like typically like is that like a full page or like a few sentences? Like
just a few sentences,
Okay,
and then I have a pineapple.
It's
called the gratitude jar.
Okay.
So I fold them up and I put them in the gratitude jar. And
Holy
the
shit,
days that
that's
I
sick.
feel crappy, I
Yeah.
go into my pineapple and I take out a thing that I wrote, and I'm like, okay, this is why you need to snap out of your shitty situation or mental, like whatever you're feeling right now.
That's
you
cool.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I suggest that to everybody. My clients all have a gratitude jar because I tell them, this is what it does for me.
Yeah.
And so I'll give you an example. I'm thankful for my friends. I was telling her today, I was like, damn, I have amazing people in my life. Look, I'm getting goosebumps.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Love podcasting.
I love it.
I'm just really grateful for the people that I have in my life. It's like insane. And because I've been in a situation where I've had shitty people.
Mm.
And the wrong people in your life will bring out the worst in you.
Mm.
And the right people will bring out the best. And when you're in those moments, you're not aware how poisonous some people could be to your life.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely.
And being able to get yourself out of that and feel the way I'm feeling now, that's why it's so important to be surrounded by amazing people who are going to lift you up, people who are going to want to see you succeed, people who want to take you to the next level, and people that want to go with you. And I'm here to bring everybody with me.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? That's the reason why I have Epic Talks, because I know what it is to feel lost. I know what it is to feel like you want to kill yourself. I know what it is to be homeless living in a car. I know what it is to be a foster child. I know what it is to like go through some crazy shit in your life. And I don't want people to feel like that. So that's why I'm here.
Yeah, and I think it might be the biggest lesson of this episode right there is that I feel like you are that person for like everybody in your life, and because of that you get that like reciprocation from others too. Like everybody in this room is there for you at that level, but it kind of, at least I can speak for myself, like it kind of started with you being that way for me, right? Because with Epic Talks and everything, and like Jay introduced us, but you're that like staple for people. So then you've built up this like hundreds, maybe it's thousands at this point of people that are there for you, and now it's like helping you progress on your mission as well.
Yeah, it's amazing.
So it's huge,
I'm so blessed with the people in my life. So yeah.
So you mentioned a few things there, so I'm just to dive into some of them. So like you were actually homeless?
Yes, I was.
How long or when was this?
Well, when I was in high school, I was actually homeless for a couple months, and
in Disney World? Just saying, that's not so bad.
I wish I would have found a little cave where they wouldn't find me. No, I lived out of my Toyota Corolla in front of a Walmart parking lot.
Okay.
And it's funny because I remember there was like the post. I think it was the first Walmart ever. It was in Orlando, Florida. I think so.
Yeah.
And basically, I remember thinking to myself, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna put myself underneath one of the posts that has a camera just in case anything happens, And for me, it was like normal. I didn't think like oh my god, I'm homeless. I'm like, okay, whatever. This is part of my life. But in order for me to get ready to school, I would go to the Disney resorts because I knew where the bathrooms were, and I'd take a shower, get ready, go to school, and then I had 2 jobs. So,
wow.
Yeah.
But to even have to have that thought though, that like something could happen, and so you specifically parked where there was a camera.
Yeah.
Wow.
I think God has always given me that mindset. I'm always like aware, always looking like, wow, how can I get out of a tough situation? You know what I mean? Like, or I'm very intuitive as well.
Yeah.
I'm good at reading people. I've gotten better throughout the years. But yeah, that's
Yeah, and I would say too. So the tears that you just had recently, that was like tears of happiness, right?
Yeah, it's just.
Or it was like
happiness.
Because
just like talking about this, it takes you back to like, wow, you've come this far, and it's more. I get emotional. I'm a very sensitive, emotional person.
I am too.
So yeah, I'm just grateful. I'm so grateful.
And I think a big part of that. So like, it's, to me, I'm like envisioning, because I didn't know about your pineapple. That's awesome. So like it's like I'm envisioning almost like these, like the fortune cookie slips.
Yeah.
And it's just like there's hundreds of them in this pineapple in your kitchen.
Yeah,
Is that what it basically is?
Yeah, you saw the pineapples, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like, I feel, you do that every morning, or almost every morning, right? Not perfect, almost every morning. And any day you wake up that it's like not the best day, then you open that up and you have hundreds of reasons for it to be a good day.
Absolutely.
You can't really lose.
No,
like
not
that.
at all.
Like, so it's like you're writing why, but then you're also collecting them. Mm-hmm. I don't know. Like I have not heard that before.
Well,
That's
you should
sick.
try it,
Because I use this 5-minute journal, and I do 3 things I'm grateful for every morning. Mm-hmm. And it's in a journal, right? So I can flip back. But it's just kind of cooler, though, to put your hand in a jar or a pineapple.
Yeah, right?
So
give it a try, absolutely. Order a pineapple on Amazon or something and
wait, is it? It's not a real, or is it real?
No,
one?
it's like a bronze one.
Oh, okay, wait. I was like, wait.
Cool, yeah.
me and we eat a lot of pineapple. So we could make one of those.
You could actually.
So a lot of our listeners, they're like aspiring authors. Mm. So this second book, right?
No, that's actually my first book.
Oh, so explain.
The one you saw was a rough draft.
Oh, okay. But it was like printed still, though.
Yeah, it was printed, and what I changed was the cover. Like,
okay, gotcha.
I got with my team, and
gotcha.
and then that's when you came into the picture and made it a #1 bestseller.
Yeah, absolutely. So, like, the writing process, like, what was that like? Like, how did you formulate all your thoughts and finalize it into a final product?
I wrote this book in 3 weeks, and I just
see, that's 3 weeks. That's crazy.
So I just basically I sat down and I'm like, okay, if somebody were to ask you how can I change my life, I just said to myself, okay, well, how did I change mine? You know what I mean? So I basically take you through the process in that book. You know
it just kind of poured out. Of
you
I poured it.
I poured it out because I lived through it. Detoxifying your mind. I share a little bit about my story, about what I experienced, how I got into the darkest place of my life. Then I talk about there's beauty in the storm. That's a chapter in the book. Basically finding beauty in the storm. Like we just spoke about a storm, but look at the beauty now. Yeah. Right? Then I talk about the power of forgiveness. Like regardless of the people that have hurt me in the past, I love them and I'm sending them love. You know what I mean? And because of them, I am who I am today. They were just a seed that was planted in my story. You know what I mean? That helped me grow. Everything happens. Everything that happens in your life is supposed to happen. Everything. That's why I wouldn't take anything back. Not one thing would I take back. And a lot of people get stuck and like, oh, my parents did this, or my job did that, my boss did this. Good. This is for you to grow. Stop being a victim of your shit. You know what I mean? Allow this as an opportunity for you to step into the better version of yourself, And that's what I did with this book. I'm like, and then forgive people. And then I also, personal mission statement. Who are you? Who do you want to become? Who are you at this moment in your life? And what person do you want to become, right? And what do you need to let go of in order to become that person? And I take you step by step on that.
And that's why you got to keep going, too, because, like, if you look back at your years, I mean, it was like a 10-year storm.
Yeah.
But now we're on, like, I don't know, about 7-8 year, like, what's a rainbow, I guess. I don't know, we're in Miami, a lot of rainbows. But with 3 weeks, what did that look like? Did you do, like, voice, or did you actually, like, write it hand to paper?
No, I just got on my laptop, and I just sat down
and it just literally flowed out. Because, like, you don't hear that often. So that's, like, awesome. Because most people, like, they really, as you know, I work with a lot of authors. So, like, they struggle. Even if they have the stories, they struggle dramatically with, like, getting it out of their head onto paper. Yeah. So did you do any sort of, like, mind map or or you literally just, like, fuck it, I have a story, I'm just typing it?
I'm the type of person, I don't like to look too much into the future. What is my moment right now? How do I feel? Yeah. That's it. You know what I mean? Yeah. The problem with people, the reason why they get, what do you call that, analysis paralysis? Yeah. The reason why they get that is because they're like, oh, but in order for me to do this, I got to do this, I got to do this, I got to do this. No. Stop thinking about that. Yeah. Once you start, okay, then the next step. there you go. Then the next step, when you first start to walk, one step at a time. So that's with the book. Don't think about the big picture of the book. Once you start writing the next chapter, you start creating such a beautiful flow because you're writing about things that matter and something that you care about, that then the next chapter is like, oh my God, I just got an idea for the next one, and it just flows and it was flowing.
Yeah. No, it's amazing. I tell people that all the time because I think what people do with books is they'll try to come up with the title first, which you can do, but I've heard of people spending months to years trying to come up with a title. And I'm like, imagine if you just get into the work, like the real work, which is the writing, then it can come to you, right? And I actually have this like long ass blog post like why you should write your book backwards, not literally, but like what I mean is you should do the actual meat of the work first, and then the introduction and the title actually comes last. Because after you've written the whole book, and just like you were saying, like the next chapter kind of comes naturally to you. That's just the way it works.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
we sit and we're trying to like perfect this book that's not even out yet.
Yeah, exactly.
So you can't perfect it. So I wanted to ask you too, with once the book was finished, and I know it was just a rough draft before, what was the route that you took, prior to us connecting? Like, or I guess what halted it at that point? Right, or it was just in rough draft, right?
No, yeah. So I got it printed.
Got it printed, okay.
And then I truly believe that when you're working on things, the universe brings things at the moment you need them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's when we met.
Oh, so it was just, okay, it was just
we
perfect
met.
timing.
We met, and then I was just like, oh my God, this is a perfect person, for me to publish my book, So we stayed connected, and it actually took me a year. I didn't feel like I was ready to launch it yet.
Okay.
Because this book was done, a year ago, and I hadn't launched it. I was going through something in my life that I was just like, I'm going to take a moment before I launch this book, because I know once I launch it, I'm going full force. You have to be in that mindset, full force. You know what I mean? So I was struggling with something at that time, and once I was able to kind of, deal with that situation, and I was like, okay, I'm ready to launch it. I'm in 100%.
Gotcha. And what's it been like since it's launched? What's like? I guess what's the positive effects it's had?
Well, I became a #1 bestselling author. And people just are ordering it a lot, and I'm able to, coach people on it, and it builds credibility. It's brought me a lot of new clients. And it's allowed me to get on more podcasts, get interviewed by more people. It's been just amazing.
It's helping amplify the message. So one thing I want to come back to too is you were saying like you like to stay in the moment.
Yeah.
That's really hard for a lot of people too.
Yeah.
So like, I know you meditate in the mornings and the nights. I do like a guided meditation. Have you ever heard of Alan Watts before?
Yes.
Okay, so I do like this Alan Watts 15-minute YouTube one. His voice is amazing.
Okay.
And that helps just like bring me back down, because when I wake up, I kind of look at my schedule sometimes. I'm like, my eyes cross. I'm like, holy shit. But that kind of centers me into the moment. And when you're in the moment, there's really no problems, right? Problems are either like you thinking about the past, or you like thinking about what could happen in the future. But in this very second, there really can't be a problem. So how do you stay in the present moment, and not even stay, but how do you initially get there actually? Because I think it's very hard for people. Do you know how you do it, or is it like just so natural?
Just creating momentum and staying in that momentum. You know what I mean? So if you tell yourself, I'm going to diet and I'm going to be there for like the next 6 weeks, continue doing that. Because I think the reason why people like tend to like feel behind or feel like they failed is because they say they're going to do something and they don't stick to it. You know what I mean? So once you start something, you have that momentum, keep it going. And bring people with you. You know what I mean? I have high energy people around me all the freaking time. Ronnie's one of them. You know what I mean? Every time him and I get on a meeting on a phone call, yo, what happened? Yeah, I got this going on. Oh, hey, yeah. You know what I mean? Same thing with Rosie. You know, my best friend Alicia, my right hand girl assistant Sandra. Like, stay in the moment. Keep going. Keep going. You know what I mean? When you have that momentum, it's gonna be hard to stop that ball from rolling.
Yeah.
You know.
And I think. And I'm sure you're aware of it, but you actually do that with your morning routine. Like, you create all these kind of smaller, like small wins with just like even making your bed, the gratitude, the meditation, and then it just kind of spirals into the rest of your day, and then that goes into weeks, months, and years.
Yeah.
So it's because people they don't think like making your bed is worth much of it, but it creates this momentum.
Yeah.
And that's what I tell entrepreneurs when they're first starting out, or authors when they're first starting, is it's like, it's not, you're thinking too far ahead.
Mm-hmm.
Once you get momentum, because you don't want to go back to that place, really, like that 10-year storm you had.
Yeah.
So it's, for me, it's similar where like when I dropped out of school, I was 80 grand in debt and shit was really difficult. And I don't want to go back to that. I like where I'm at. I want to keep growing. So like the momentum, it keeps you at this high frequency.
Yeah.
So I guess what I'm saying is, if you're in the beginning stages and you don't have that momentum feeling yet, just know it's coming. It could take 10 years, could take a few years. But once you're there, I think you very rarely allow yourself to get back into
because
that
you
hole.
know how it feels to be.
Yeah, you're like,
I don't want to go back to that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you'll do anything.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
No, absolutely. So I want to leave it to you if there's anything else you want to share, like, because I know you have so much knowledge. I mean, you work with so many people in here in Miami. You're expanding. So the floor is yours. And then also there's a lot of stuff at the end. Like, I want people to stay in contact with you, all of our listeners. So like book, website, socials. If you're in Miami, obviously Epic Talks. Or even if you're not, you should fly here. But yeah, I'll leave it to you on that.
Well, Melitsa Waage. Oh no, Melitsa.com is my website.
Oh yeah, crazy by the way. You got your first name.com. That's like nobody has that. That's awesome.
Melitsa.com. You can get the book there. You can also find out how to work with me there. There's a couple of applications if you're interested in Detoxify Your Mind program, or if you're interested in one-on-one coaching. I mainly work with CEOs and entrepreneurs, high performers. So if that's you, reach out to me. If you're in Miami, Epic Talks is the last Wednesday of the month, except for November because it's Thanksgiving, and then on December we don't have one. But the rest of the year, it's the last Wednesday of the month. We're working on a gala, hopefully for the next December for this December. We were gonna do it in the end of November, but it's a gala, so there's a lot going on. So I think we're gonna do it the first week of December. But anybody who's interested in being a part of that, to reach out to me. Epic Talks is an amazing community that is here to just, help people change their lives, amplify their lives, and meet amazing, amazing people. And yeah, I'm just here to be of service. So that's
absolutely. Well, thanks for coming on the show.
Well, thank you for having me, and thank you so much thanks to you, I have a #1 best-selling book, and thank you for the way you've shown up in my life. You've helped me so much, and you inspire me.
You too.
Thank you.